Once upon a time, there existed a land of honor called Zika. The people of this land were known to be hunters. Children from each family were trained to become hunters from a tender age. Chiro was the second son of Mr. Aura, the greatest hunter in the land of Zinka. He was blessed in diverse areas. In the eyes of many, he was an epitome of grace. Chiro was tall, fair, huge, and above all smart. Although he was smart, Chiro was so stubborn. He felt he had all it takes to be the greatest hunter in the land of Zika, overriding his father's position. Without the permission of Aura, his father, Zika went hunting at any time he wished. Fortunately for him, he always came back successful with a catch. It was a tradition of the people of Zika to avoid hunting on a full moon day. According to their forefathers, the animal kingdom feasted on any full moon day and hence ought to be respected. Chiro thought within himself and resorted to the belief that his land's belief was a myth. He decided within his heart to go hunt on a full moon day. Among his friends, Chiro bragged about it. The news reached his dad. Chiro's dad pleaded and advised him not to go hunting on a full moon day, but Chiro adamantly refused. It was a dreaded moment for the family of Chiro. Chiro's mom woke up in the middle of the night to ease herself, and her greatest fear had showcased. Shining so sharply in the sky, it was a full moon. Forgetting to use the restroom and without further ado, Chiro's mom ran to Chiro's room, and behold, her son and his hunting equipments were missing. Immediately, Chiro's mom raised an alarm, crying profusely. Mr. Aura came out sporadically from his room, and his fears clouded his heart, even without him opening the doors of his heart. Sadly, his son had adamantly gone hunting. From afar, Chiro heard loud music. He wondered where the music and jubilation were actually coming from. Deep within him, a part of him wanted to finally believe the long-existing myth about the animal kingdom and full moon, but his stubbornness constantly shut the door to him accepting the truth. He chose to believe that the music he was hearing was an aftermath of the wings banging on the leaves, trees, or an object deep in the forest. Approaching the arena of sounds, his heart jumped into his mouth as he couldn't believe what he saw. It was quite rowdy but amazing. The melody from the animals gathered could force one into dancing sheepishly. Monkeys gave resounding beats from several drum stands. The birds were all out to give melodious sounds. Elephants, of course, glorified the music with constant trumpeting. The best dancers of the occasion were the pig family. Their dancing steps, no one could compete. The Lion King was seated on his throne, surrounded by buffaloes. The tortoise sat close to the king. In the eyes of Chiro, he seemed like his right-handed man. Melodiously eating and dining were different animals. They ate and dined, celebrating the opportunity to see another full moon. To them, the advent of a full moon symbolized another new year. Chiro, to avoid being seen, quickly switched off his light. He hid behind a tall huge tree. At that moment, he knew his dad was right. He knew he had been foolish and unreasonably stubborn. He knew his dad and the belief that the people of Zero was absolutely true. He resorted to carefully draw back without making any form of noise. Like a tree-toed sloth, Chiro made his way back home. Unfortunately, he was seen by the bat, who preferred consuming his own share of food in the dark. Unknown to Chiro, the bat had already informed the lion of his presence. In no distant time, Chiro was surrounded by hyenas, leopards, and of course lions, the deadliest animals on earth. On seeing them, tears flowed from Chiro's eyes. He knew his end had come. He regretted deep within himself why he was so proud and stubborn. He regretted why he never listened to the words of his father. At that point in time, he knew his father knew more than him and, of course, was right about his admonition. Despite Chiro's fear and regrets, deep within him he knew he couldn't die for nothing. He knew he still had the blood of his dad running in him. He knew he couldn't give in so quickly without a fight. It was either he died like a riffraff or he died like a warrior. He decided to choose the latter. The teeth of the hyenas gnashed with anger. The lions roared, submerged in-depthly in anger. The leopard never lost focus. Their eyes were all stationed at Chiro. Chiro drew out his sword and decided with himself that the first animal who charged towards him was going down with him. While he waited for his death and the death of his first victim, right before his eyes, the leopard was shot down. The eyes of the leopard, previously sharp and bright, went gloomy. Confused by what was really happening, he saw all the hyenas down, all kissing the ground to their own death. Before he could scream Jack Robinson, the lions were cut off from the land of the living. An arrow so sharp was specifically targeted at the weak spots of these animals. Only one person in the land of Zero could give such a clean shot without missing. Of course, it was Mr. Aura, Chiro's dad. Ahead of the dead animals as suspected was his dad. He felt a plug of joy in his heart, but at the same time he was so ashamed of himself. His father beckoned on him to run towards him. He abruptly did, and the boat ran home profusely. Reaching home, Chiro couldn't get into the house. He knelt filled with regret and pleaded for his father's forgiveness. He admitted he was foolishly stubborn, thinking he knew more, but he knew nothing. His father loved him so much that he could sacrifice his own life to save that of his son. He was still angry with his son, but was also happy that he was safe, and secondly, his son had learned his lesson. They both hugged themselves, sobbing profusely, but at the same time were happy to both be alive. Moral lesson. Always be obedient to your parents and your instructions. No matter how one claims to be wise, one's parent still knows more than he or she does. 2. Always learn to adhere to the societal rules and regulations to avoid getting into trouble. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like as well as subscribe to this channel. If you also love to have this book handy, you can request from it from Amazon using the link in the description box. Alright, so we'll meet next time. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.